maybe next year I should probably get other people to read books and not just me. This is a Adventure Crew reading channel. Also, I pray this is a reading channel. I necessarily won't be able to post every single day like gaming channels can. Or like a channel where you just do a bunch of randoms that you do every single topic of a channel. Like challenges. Like for example, my other channels, this is my channel, isn't just my channel. But my channels, I do like everything on it. Like I don't just have one specific topic for it. But since this is just one specific topic, I won't be posting that much. And if you might just see some repeating books with other people reading it after I read it too. That could happen or it could not. Page 121. This is impossible, she said. Her voice is above a whisper. It reads 60.4. The thermometer. Oh yeah. No, that can't be. You wouldn't be alive without temperature. My thermometer must be broken. She shoved the thermometer back in the desk drawer. Then began to the cot. Lie down, Sammy. Go ahead, lie down, and don't try to eat anything, okay? I obediently stretched out my back on the cot. The room was spinning around me. I didn't feel like myself at all. I had a heavy feeling of dread in my stomach. I wasn't used to being in trouble, and I knew I was in major trouble now. Mrs. Bradley gripped her pen up above her writing pad. Tell me your parents' phone numbers. We're going to call them and tell them to come get you. I groaned. Do you have to call them? She nodded. You're worrying me, Sammy. Your parents didn't know what's going on with you. How are you in trouble? It just seems like she's worried about you. I mean, but like, if you're a good kid and you act up, most like, some people don't realize that they're like, well, I'm a good kid. How could I act up? It's probably a mental disorder or some physical disorder or some physical sickness that is making you act up. So it's not exactly always your fault. But you still try to control it so you don't hurt other people or take it out on something like that. That's why fidgets exist for people with ADHD and anxiety. Coloring, you know, a lot of normal hobbies exist because of mental disorders. So, yeah. Mental illnesses are very real and not easy to get rid of. Yeah, you can't get rid of it. Oh, you can get rid of depression, but like, that takes forever to get rid of. Sometimes some people don't get, my depression didn't go away. Others did. Some people get depression taken away, some get it taken away for a bit and then it comes back, which is still having it, but it's not as bad. Yeah, I'm number 2 there. Well, Mom and Dad weren't going to like getting a call from school. It had never happened before. They would definitely be surprised and upset. Come on, Sammy, give me the numbers, she insisted. They won't be upset. Oh wait, no, they will be upset. I don't know why, but it might just be like, I don't know. Don't people usually get upset if you're sick and you want to come home because of it? Or is that, or is that just me? I still hope it's not me, I still hope it's normal. But before I could answer, her desk phone rang. She picked up the receiver and started to talk, slowly pulling myself up on the cot. She turned away from me, the phone pressed to her ear. Didn't hesitate, I leaped up as silently as I could, tiptoed from her office. I held my breath until I made it into the hall. Doesn't he have blonde hair? No, he has brown hair, right? Yeah, he does. And the teacher's the one that has blonde hair. I started down the long hall. I didn't know where I was going. I guess I planned to go home. I was still not thinking clearly. I was nearly to the back exit when the bell rang to end the school day. Kids came pouring out of their classrooms. The hall filled with shouts and laughs and the squeal of lockers opening. I was reading like I was reading a love story. I did not mean to read it like that. Oh, the lack of noise is annoying. My jacket! I was in such a hurry to escape, I forgot to get it. Through the back windows, I glanced at the sky, cloudy and dark, maybe snow on the wall. I turned and hurried back down the hall. I was desperate to get to my locker without Mrs. Bradley seeing me. Kids began to stampede toward the exit. Someone bumped me hard from behind. Robin. He laughed and trotted ahead of me. I ducked behind a group of girls when Miss Flake came walking by. I didn't want her to see me either. I heard Todd calling me, but I kept walking. I pulled open my locker door and tugged out my parka. Isn't a parka a coat? I glanced both ways. No sign of Mrs. Bradley. I slammed the locker shut and pulled the coat over my head so I couldn't be seen. Someone tapped me on the shoulder. Startled, I spun around. Summer? Summer McGee smiled at me. Those sky blue eyes twinkled above her dimpled cheeks. Sammy, you were so funny in class today, she said. Thanks. I can't believe it. Summer McGee just said something nice to me. She actually came over to talk to me. Her smile grew even warmer. You were a riot, Sammy. Everyone thinks you were a riot. I never knew you were so funny. Thanks, I said again. See you tomorrow. She tossed her blonde hair behind her head, flashed me one more smile, and then took off. I thought she had brown hair. I thought she had like a slight brunette hair. Oh no, wait. I mean, that's what I imagined. Now I'm literally above 100 pages. We finally get to see what her hair color actually is. I stood there stunned for a few seconds. Those were the nicest words someone had ever said to me. I might have stood there longer, but I heard teachers' voices around the corner. I spun the dial on my locker lock, ducked my head under the parka hood and ran off. Mom was waiting for me at the front door. She had her worried face on, saying, "Are you sick?" Nurse called me from school. She said you might need a doctor. No, I'm not sick, I said. I slipped past her into the front hall. I saw her hang my parka in the front closet. Mrs. Bradley called me. She thinks you are sick, Mom said. She had her arms crossed tightly in front of her sweater. Her eyes were examining me, looking for signs of illness. I did some funny things to class today, I said. Funny things? Should I tell her the truth? Should I tell her what happened? Yes, I decided. I took a deep breath. Mom, this voice in my head, it told me to stand on my desk and do jumping jacks right in the middle of class. Then it told me to take the nurse's tuna-fish sandwich and stuff it in the mouth. Mom gasped. Oh no! Oh please no! And did you do those things? I nodded. I couldn't resist. I had to. She made a choking sound. I'm so sorry, Sammy. It's not your fault, huh? Not my fault, Mom. What do you mean? Your father and I never should have let you go to that haunted house on Halloween. We knew it was the kind of thing that terrifies you, but I guess we thought it might make you braver. Wait, I don't know what's going on here. Did they go to wait. Remember how my last... Okay, I was reading one of these books on Instagram. I talk about this theory on Instagram. It was a huge theory I talked about that this house is the same house that's in a few other Goosebumps books on the Most Haunted series, where each one's after a year, and then where these parents are from one of those books. If it's from one of those books, then it'll probably have one of the voices, but the 12 Screams of Christmas didn't have a voice, neither did the very first book of the series, which will also have this house, by the way. I just stared at her. I didn't know what to say. Sammy, I think being there that night upset you. I think it was too much for you. Some people just don't like scary things, and you're one of them. Your father and I have to realize that. We push you too hard, and it's made you have those episodes. Episodes? She felt my forehead. Perfectly normal. You'll be okay. We'll discuss this more when your father gets home. Go take a nap for an hour or so. You're going to be fine. I nodded and made my way down the back hall to my room. I was totally surprised that Mom blamed that night in Marple House for my problem. Could she be right? I sat down on the edge of my bed and punched Buzzy's number on my phone. It went right to voicemail. Oh yeah, isn't Buzzy's your best friend? Does he have red hair? He has red hair, right? Did I just imagine him wrong all this time as well? This is why when I write stories, I kind of like tend to re-describe the hair color multiple times and the eyes multiple times so people can remember it. Yeah. Well, check out my Wattpad. I'll link it in the description. I tossed my phone down. I didn't feel like taking a nap. I was too tense, too weird, too confused. I sat there hunched on the edge of my bed for a long time, thinking, waiting to hear the voice again. Come on, voice, I murmured out loud. Come on, are you there? Speak up. Come on, let me hear you. I'm listening. Are you there? Why do you want it to be there so bad? Chapter 25. Next morning, Buzzy stopped me at the front door of the school. Did you hear? Our field trip was cancelled, he said. Cancelled? You mean no maple syrup? No pancakes? Shook his head. We're having an assembly instead. The mayor is coming to talk. Rolled my eyes. Boring. Tell me about it, Buzzy muttered. The mayor again. Also, this is from last year. Recap. Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to talk about earlier. Recap. Remember, Mayor was in the beginning of the story, like the very beginning. I don't know if you guys remember that. And then the mayor is also someone's dad. See, I remember some stuff vividly, but then I have to force my brain to remember everything else in the book, which I did after I started reading at like 2 minutes. I heard other kids grumbling about the canceled field trip as I walked through the crowded front hall to my locker. I shoved my backpack into the bottom of my locker and pushed the door closed. I turned and saw Summer McGee smiling at me again. She wore a long-sleeved blue top that matched her eyes perfectly. Her dingly plastic earrings shingled as she tilted her head at me. Oh. I do not feel right at the moment. Oh my gosh. Oh, go check out my main channel and go check out my Wattpad. Sammy, are you going to do some more funny stuff today? She asked. I so hope not. That's what I thought. But I said maybe I will. We'll see. That answer seemed to please her. She flashed me with a smile and then turned and hurried away. I think she's a naughty girl. Not the kind I'll be in. I mean like not like a one that is more of. I'm gonna use myself as an example. I'm kind as heck, but yet I would love to date a boy that is straight up a little bit crazy, but not like at the point where he will hurt people, more to the point where he will want to hurt people, but won't, if that makes any sense to anyone. That's the kind that, like, that's a huge taste that I like, but then there's also just other super kind and gentle people that I also like. So, super kind of gentle, or straight up intrusive. Summer had ignored me for 3 years, and now she seemed ready to form a Sammy Baker fan club, and all because of my weirdo behavior. As I made my way to the morning assembly, I just kept asking myself, what if it happens again? What if I keep doing terrible, crazy things? Will I be kicked out of school? What will happen to me? So many questions. My head was spinning as I stepped into the auditorium. I took a seat in the third row. Also in my row were Buzzy and Summer and Ruben. Ew. It doesn't say anxiety, so it isn't anxiety. He's just like anxious. I want to talk about this again. Our principal, Mr. Hawkins, introduced Mayor Springfield. The mayor pulled out a speech from his suit pocket. Oh wait, yeah, the Mayor Springfield. I don't know, Springfield sounds like a female name. Or a neutral name. Actually, no, if it does sound neutral but more on the female side, I guess Mayor would have it. The mayor pulled out a speech from his suit pocket and leaned over the podium on stage, droning out about how city government works in the soft voice I could barely hear. Kids were whispering and shifting in their chairs and laughing over private jokes. Mr. Hawkins had to interrupt the mayor twice and warn us all to be a good audience. It's boring. Also, wait, is this middle school? Why do you need to know how the government works? What are you gonna do, get arrested? I could feel my eyelids growing heavy. I think maybe I started to doze off, but I didn't really fall asleep because the voice suddenly returned. I joked up straight as I heard a whisper command. Go on stage and help the mayor. Do a crazy tap dance, Sammy. Didn't we ever do this? Buzzy grabbed my arm. Hey, are you okay? I nodded. I was too startled to answer Buzzy. Go on stage and do a tap dance, the voice repeated. The boy's voice. Swing your arms and crow like a rooster. I climbed to my feet. Hey, Sammy, sit down, Buzzy called. I ignored him and pushed my way along the seats, stepping over sneakers, forcing kids to move. I stumbled in the aisle, caught my balance, and began to trot to the stage. Help the mayor, the voice repeated. Everyone would like a funny tap dance. Oh, no. I heard kids mumble and utter cries of surprise as I leaped up the steps at the side of the stage. Mayor Springfield hadn't seen me yet. He continued muttering into the microphone, something about how the legislature decides which new laws to consider. Hold on. Mr. Hawkins had left the stage. I shielded my eyes as I stepped into the pool of bright stage lights. I could see the kids in the front rows, see their eyes grow wide with surprise. Then there I was, beside the podium, 2 feet from the mayor. He finally looked up from his speech and saw me. There I was, and I started to dance, a crazy tap dance, swinging my arms up and down. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, why do I... Tappity, tap, tap. Wait, isn't that the sound of water? Like that kind of tapping. I don't know if y'all heard it. And that's not what I mean though. It's like a certain level of water that will make it. Like when it's draining and somehow still on a little bit. Or if it's like I'm halfway there. Like that. I saw my arm. The mayor made a choking sound and his eyes nearly bulged out of his head. Tap, 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 tap. Huge grin on my face. I knew I should be grinning, but I couldn't stop. The mayor's speech slid off, podium, hit the floor. The pages scattered over the stage. I stepped to the side and began dancing on them. Crow like a rooster, the voice ordered. Keep dancing and crow to the ceiling. I tilted my head back, took a deep breath, and began to crow. The sound rang off the walls and rose over the screams and roars of everyone's laughter. Several kids jumped to their feet and clapped along to the sounds of the tap dancing. Kids shouted, "Go! Go! Go, Sammy, go!" Others sat in horrified silence. Me? I'm the only one sitting in horrified silence because you're doing this to the mayor. You're doing this to the mayor. You're doing this to the mayor, so... Also, how do you guys like my hoodie? Mayor Springfield's mouth hung open. He kept blinking rapidly as if he were trying to erase me from his eyes. He took a few stumbling steps backward, retreating from the podium. I cried again and again. I realized my clothes were getting weaker. I was out of breath from all the crazy tapping. My chest started to ache. Then I heard another command from the voice inside my head. Grab the mayor's hands and make him dance with you. I want to see that happen. I didn't hesitate. But that was me saying that. Me saying I want to see that happen. I didn't hesitate. I couldn't resist the command. I was in the zone. I knew I had to do whatever the voice told me. I tapped my way up to the mayor. I grabbed his hands and squeezed them in mine. His hands were wet and ice cold. He was too subtle to pull free. How would y'all feel if a random kid came up to you, grabbed your hand, forced you to tap dance with them? No, whenever anyone randomly touches me, I'm running away. I held his hands and began to spin him around in a circle. I spun him hard and made him move his feet. His face turned an angry red. He scowled and began uttering low grunts as he struggled to free himself, but I held on tight, swung his arms around and kept dancing. The auditorium rang with screams and wild roars of laughter. I could see teachers rushing to the stage from the back of the auditorium. I stopped and started to spin the mayor in the opposite direction. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Mr. Hawkins stopping across the stage toward me. He was followed by the gym teacher and his assistant. Get him off me! Mayor Springfield yelled to them. Mr. Hawkins looked more stunned than angry. Sammy, stop! He shouted. I kept dancing. The mayor broke free, but I kept my shoes pounding the stage floor and started to swing my arms up and down again. Oh, my eyes hurt. Kept my shoes pounding the stage floor and started to, Mr. Boyle, the gym teacher, grabbed me by the shoulders. Andrew, his assistant, tackled me around the waist. They pulled me to the floor and on my back, but I kept my feet moving, kept dancing, until Andrew sat on my chest and Mr. Boyle pressed my feet to the floor with both hands. Finally stopped. My muscles all went soft. My whole body slumped. A long whistle stayed in my mouth like a balloon deflating. I began panting hard, unable to catch my breath. A hush fell over the auditorium. Principal Hawkins leaned over me. His foggy eyes stared into mine. He lowered his face close to mine. Sammy, he asked, "Are you finished?" What does he look like again? Doesn't he just look like... Yeah, froggy eyes. I'm imagining him looking like a classic teacher. I have no memory of what he used to look like. Plenty of memories of the... My point is, I don't remember anything from the principal. So, I might have to reimagine him. I hope you all remember him, though. I don't know, I said. Chapter 26. Believe it or not, Mr. Hawkins gave me one more chance. Slay. I'm sorry if you all hate the word slay. It's like what I say is when something good happens. Anytime something good happens, I'm gonna say slay. I'm sorry about that, though. Chapter 26. We went to his office after the assembly, and he said since I've always been such a perfect student, he could forgive one crazy act. After all, you weren't being vicious or dangerous, he said. You were just having some fun, right? Right, I said, fun. That makes sense. Yeah, chapter 26. I couldn't tell him why I ran up on stage and acted like a crazy lunatic. Mr. Hawkins would never believe me, or else he would think I had gone totally mental. He would send me home and tell my parents to get me to a head doctor as fast as possible. I was a head doctor. Luckily, I didn't have to think of an excuse or reason for my behavior. Mr. Hawkins didn't even ask me why I did it. I know it was a dull assembly, Mr. Hawkins said. Springfield is the worst speaker I've ever seen, so I don't blame you for letting off a little steam. The principal chuckled. Did you see the look on his face when you made him dance with you? Oh. Before that moment, I never realized that Mr. Hawkins had a sense of humor. A lot of us make fun of him because his bald head and bulgy eyes made him look so much like a frog, but I realized he was a pretty good guy. I'm imagining him like Charlie Brown right now. Also, did you know the nose and that plays at Charlie Brown? One of my old childhood movies has my little actor icon in it. I always cry when I think of that fact because he's my actor icon. One of my childhood movies. I wonder which character he played. On Telephonic, I think the only one was the Christmas special that he was in. That or the Halloween one. It was in the special. So, if y'all know what character Noah Schnapp played, put it down in the comments, please. And not in Stranger Things, I mean in Charlie Brown, because he played in that. He told me I could go to lunch, but no more stunts, Sammy. Do you hear me? I expect you to be the perfect student while we spend. Thank you, sir, I said, lowering my head. I couldn't believe he was letting me off so easy. One more stunt and I'll have to send you home and bring in your parents, he said. No problem, I murmured, and I was out the door and racing to the lunchroom. I had to find Buzzy. I had to tell him about the voice, but while I was suddenly acting so crazy and weird, I knew Buzzy was the only one who would believe me. Wasn't he there at the house, too? He couldn't help me, but at least I have somebody on my side, somebody to talk to about the whole thing, somebody who might understand what I was going through. I stepped into the lunchroom and the kids all burst into applause. Hey, Sammy, dance! Someone shouted. Everyone roared. Sammy, you should be mayor. Go, Sammy. Wait, what? Hold on, him being mayor? But, sure, he has a sense of humor. But you also need maturity, and you also need to actually understand what's right and what's wrong a little bit. No, not a little bit, you need to understand almost everything, the mayor. Like how it's so tough to be a homophobic mayor. I might just cut that out. This is pretty, very controversial. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that part. Definitely. Are you going to dancing class this afternoon? I gazed around the crowded room for Buzzy, but I didn't see him. My eyes stopped on the big tub of spaghetti piled high with plenty of meatballs and tomato sauce on the food counter. My eyes stopped on the big tub of spaghetti piled high with plenty of meatballs and tomato sauce on the food counter. My stomach growled. I suddenly realized I was hungry. The spaghetti looked pretty good. Hey, Sammy. Someone grabbed my arm. I turned and saw it was Summer McGee. She flashed me 2 thumbs up. Sammy, you were hilarious. I never laughed so hard in my life. You were wonderful. Her amazing blue eyes gleamed under the bright lunchroom lights. Her smile made the 2 dimples appear on her cheeks. Well, thanks, I managed to say. Go get your lunch, Summer said. Then will you come sit with me at my table? Huh? Sit at her table? Sit at the table with all the hot, popular girls in school? Was she serious? About to say yes when I saw Buzzy walk into the lunchroom. Maybe tomorrow? I told her. I have something really important to tell Buzzy. Smile faded and the glow faded from her eyes. Okay, tomorrow. Promise? Promise, I said. Walked over to Buzzy. He squinted at me. Hey, what happened to you this morning? That's what I want to talk to you about, I said. I started to pull him over the table against the wall, but I suddenly heard the boy's voice again, so clearly, so insistent, in my ears. Do a cartwheel into the spaghetti pan. No! I'll be so mad at you. Don't ruin the puppy good. Did you not ruin the spaghetti? I will be so mad at you. Do not ruin the spaghetti. I froze. I hope I heard it correctly. I saw Robin Rubino enter the room. As he walked toward me, he gave me a 2-fingered salute, tapping his fingers on his forehead. Go work this morning, Sammy, he called. He looked like a joke, but it was very funny. You... Do a cartwheel into the spaghetti pan, the voice repeated a little louder. I blinked. Sammy, is something wrong? Buzzy demanded. No, just stand back, I said. I shoved him out of the way. Hey, what's up, Sammy? Robin said. Stand back, I warned. Stand back! That was too loud. It didn't even have an exclamation mark. Why did I say it? Exclamation mark. Why did I say it out loud? I lowered my head and took a running leap. I dipped my legs, sprang high, and did a cartwheel at the food counter. Boom! My shoes kicked the spaghetti pan and set it flying. The noodles flew from the pan. A big red tomato sauce glop. The pan crashed into the wall. The huge ball of spaghetti came down fast and splashed onto Robin's head. I said Robino. It made a surprisingly loud splat sound. Spaghetti popped over his hair and eyes. Meatballs rolled down his back. A thick river of tomato sauce oozed down from the front of Robin's t-shirt. Oops, a moment. Robin grabbed the glob of spaghetti with both hands and frantically began to wipe it off his face and head. Noodles and meatballs went toppling to the floor. Robin? I sorry to say it was an accident, but his name was the only word I got out because, roaring like a ferocious animal, he came charging at me. He wrapped his arms around my waist and tackled me to the floor. I landed hard on my back, and he jumped on top of me, grunting and growling. He swung his fist, landing punch after punch. Eyes bulging, face dripping with tomato sauce. Robin looked like a comic book monster as he furiously sank his fist into my stomach. Over my cries of pain, I saw the shrieks and horrified screams from the kids in the lunch table. Then shadows rolled over Robin and me. It took me a few seconds to realize the shadows were Miss Flake and two other teachers. I was imagining, like, him. I was imagining Sammy not hearing anything because, like, I think Robin punched him in his face, which could make you not hear anything for a bit. Robin ignored them and kept swinging away, using me as a squealing punching bag. Finally, the three teachers dragged him off of me. He was so crazed, he kept swinging his fist even after they stood him up against the wall. Okay, that kind of makes him look like a lunatic. I lay there on my back on the wall in the pools of spaghetti sauce, waiting for the pain to fade. I groaned as Mr. Harkness's rocky face suddenly appeared above me. "This was your last chance, Sammy," he said. "I don't know what got into you, but you're out of here. I have to send you home." I'm doomed, I realized. My life is ruined, and that's when it started to get really dangerous. Really, that wasn't dangerous enough? What do you mean? You need school to learn about extras that you probably don't even need to learn? And then, like, the main stuff. Just parents usually don't tell you this main stuff. They just tell you, I feel like parents all explain the extra stuff. And it's only the school that teaches you the main stuff you need to learn. The extra stuff can appear randomly in your life depending on your career path. Okay, yeah, you pretty much need to learn everything in school. But based on the information I literally just gave. Chapter 27. Now imagine this was 27 minutes long. Mr. Harkness phoned my parents at work. He asked them to come in for a talk about me later that afternoon. Then he turned to me. I was hunched tensely in a chair in front of his desk. My hands tightly clasped in my lap. Spaghetti sauce smeared my shirt and jeans. "Sammy, can you explain what just happened in the lunchroom?" I thought about it for a long moment. Not really, I said. "You've been a perfect student." I said student. "You've been a perfect student," the principal said, rubbing his bald head. "Why did you suddenly decide to act funny and disturb everyone in school with your stunts?" Okay, Some of the things he didn't disturb others. The things he did in the middle of class disturbed others. What he did in the lunchroom didn't disturb anyone, and only made a few people mad and stunned, but it didn't disturb anyone. But like what he did in the classroom with like with food and standing on the desk, that disturbed a bunch of people. Even if they were laughing, it was still disturbing a bunch of people. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I understand what teachers say when they say this stuff. Like, I'm sure teachers will understand what I'm saying. So if you really want a better explanation, go to a teacher. I can't really say much. Especially since some stuff I have that kind of keeps me from explaining well. I have a lot of stuff. I can't do that much stuff. Okay? There. So yeah, I can't explain that well. So if you really want... I'm sure a teacher will understand what I'm saying, so yeah, go to like a teacher and ask. They probably won't let me play this video, so probably like, remember. Also, then again, I had one of my teacher's phone number. I actually had two of my teacher's phone numbers. Well, ex-teachers. Would they be ex-teachers? What would they be if they were from the last grade? I'm not saying their name. One of them is the mom of my friend. Which, I'm saying that because some people in my old school probably know what I'm talking about when I say the mom of my friend. And then the other one's like the social worker. But not the social worker for the whole school. It was the social worker just for 8th grade. I don't think that people would get that right away. I think she was a social worker. I have her phone number, and I have the other one's phone number. Both hers, but I couldn't say her and her because that would confuse some people. I need to go listen to Melanie Martinez's Soap music video because that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I'm so glad I'm not live. I don't really know, I answered. At first, I didn't want to tell him about the voice in my head that ordered me to do those things. I knew he wouldn't understand. But sitting there in so much trouble, I suddenly changed my mind. I have to tell him. I have to make him believe me. Maybe he can help me. I took a deep breath and opened my mouth to start telling him the truth. His office door swung open. Miss Poquet, his secretary, poked her head in. Those school principals from downtown are waiting for you, she told Mr. Hawkins. Sammy. He jumped to his feet. Also, my conversation is kind of leaving you in suspense, which is kind of my plan of why I put a lot of conversations into these videos. I say conversations because you guys are supposed to reply in the comments to them, but most people don't. Actually, I don't think I have any comments about topic I have in the videos. Instead, I just probably have comments saying first. He jumped to his feet. Thank you, Miss Poge. He turned back to me. I'm sending you home. I'll talk to your parents when they arrive and decide what we should do about you, Sammy. He motioned with both hands for me to leave. He shook his head sadly. You're a mystery to me, he said. Yes, mystery is the right word, I thought. I crept down the hall, pulled my backpack and jacket from my locker, and slumped out the front door of the school. I took the long way home. I kept my head down, walking slowly, letting the wind gust blow my coat behind me. I walked past Marple House. Behind the tall hedges, the big house rose darkly. Even though the afternoon sun was shining brightly now, I shuddered. I shuddered too. I just got a chill. Actually, it wasn't the shudder, but the chill. I got a chill. Sam got a shudder, making that clear. My problems with the voice started after that night in the old house. Did Marple House have something to do with my troubles? It seemed like a crazy idea. I crossed the street onto a Fairmount. 2 squirrels stared at me from the tall grass and the empty... Okay, hate being watched. OMG. If anyone's confused, I was imagining Sammy in first person, so it looked like I was being watched by the squirrels, and I was about to have an anxiety attack over it. Until I remembered it was a book I was reading. Yeah. No one knows what an anxiety attack is? It's like a panic attack, but with anxiety rumbling through your head, and you can't think of anything else, and you feel like you're literally drowning. That's literally what an anxiety attack is for me. I think it's really just basically the same for everyone. Everyone might describe it differently though. But the age that it allows for like 4th through 6th graders, like 8-year-olds. I was halfway down the block when the voice returned. Quick, climb that tree and rescue the can at the top. A shiver ran down my back. I wanted the voice to go away and never come back, but now it was telling me to climb the tree to do something nice. I mean, morals. Gazed up the tree in front of me. The trunk was right and smooth, only a few leaves clung to the tangle of branches above my head. I looked hard for the kitten, but I couldn't see it from there. Quick, the voice repeated. Climb the tree. Rescue the kitten before it falls. What kitten? What if it's a ghost kitten? Is there a book about a ghost kitten? Nope, there isn't. You look for books about dogs, I'm pretty sure. Or Goosebumps. Oh, more specifically. I said it again. I never climbed trees. It's too dangerous. My parents said that all boys climb trees, but I never wanted to. What do you mean all boys climb trees? I mean, I can't say crap, I'm a gender fluid, but like, what do you mean all boys climb trees? I know a few boys that don't climb trees. Do I? Wait, do I? Do all the boys I know actually climb trees? I never exactly asked all of them. I've seen most of them climb a tree, but I never exactly asked the ones I haven't seen climb a tree if they climb trees. I'm probably going to do that now. I'm kind of severely curious, and I'm gonna cry if I don't know the answer to that. Maybe all boys do climb trees. I don't know. I won't know. But like, I probably will know if I ask them. I could just go to school and just ask every boy in my class, do you climb trees? I'm probably gonna do that on Monday. Also, there's probably gonna be a late upload. But it's currently Saturday, and it's 7:23 right now. I spent the whole day watching Chucky and it was just Chucky on YouTube. Was it? I don't think I spent the whole day watching one whole episode of Chucky. I was watching The Nun. Yeah, The Nun. YouTube videos. I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos. And The Nun's only an hour. What did I watch? What did I spend the day doing? I think I only did three things. Did I do something I forgot I did? Probably did. I knew I'd fall and break my arm. I never understood why kids think tree climbing is fun. Quick! The voice shouted. Sound made me jump. No! I started to protest. I tried to back away from the tree. I wanted to cross the street, get as far from the tree as I could. I wanted to go the voice that I was in control. Before I even realized it, I had my arms wrapped around the cold, rough trunk. Now I began to shinny up to the lower branches, tucking my legs around the trunk and hoisting myself up with my hands. Why does he just, hold on. Why does, R.L. Stein describes saying so detailed? I'm kind of jealous. My heart was pounding like crazy when I reached the first limb. Although him describing it in severely detailed ways kind of makes him more thriller. Is this a thriller or is this just like... Why am I doing this? I never climb trees. The bark felt slippery and damp. It scratched my hands as I struggled to pull myself up. The wind picked up and lifted my coat behind me. My feet slipped. I grabbed a slender limb above me to keep from falling. I steadied myself and gazed up to the thick limbs at the top of the tree. Where was the kitten? I still couldn't see it. Hold tight. I'm coming, I called to it. Carefully, I hoisted myself onto the next branch. Then I crawled to the end of it and get the next higher branch and raised myself. My hands ached, scratched from the bark. My legs were trembling. I kneeled on the branch and gazed around again. Clouds floated over the sun. The wind suddenly felt cooler. I shivered and stared at the top branches shifting in the breeze. Muscles all tightened. There's no kitten up here, I shouted angrily. Oh, I shouted it like I was excited. The tree shook. A black SUV passed by without slowing. I peered down. The ground was far below. I climbed nearly to the top. Did you hear me? I shouted. There's no kitten up here. Well, people are gonna think you're crazy. They're gonna call 911. Silence for a long moment. Then I heard laughter. Sharp, cold laughter. The voice didn't say a word. Just laughed, that cruel laugh. And as the laugh faded, the tree began to sway. My branch bobbed up and down. I wrapped my hands around it and I heard a loud crack. The branch tilted down sharply. I gasped and gripped it with all my strength. The branch was cracking, about to break. I peered down again. No way I could climb down. I heard another long crack. A wave of panic swept down my trembling body. And I began to scream. Help me! I'm not gonna scream that, I'm sorry. Someone might actually think I need help.
But here's what he says.
Chapter 28. I didn't hear the sirens until I saw the fire truck screw around the corner. I scrambled to the trunk of the tree. Yeah, we're on chapter 28 now. I didn't hear the sirens until I saw the fire truck screw around the corner. I scrambled to the trunk of the tree. The branch beneath my feet was about to snap off. It bounced beneath me. I wrapped my arms around my fat trunk and squeezed my body against it. My fat trunk? Oh no, the fat trunk! Ooh. Was I strong enough to hold myself up if the branch cracked away and fell out from under me? I mean, probably not. Actually, I'm able to do that. So, I think you could. Although I'm probably just a little bit stronger than you. Luckily, I didn't have to find out. The firefighters had the ladder on the tree, and the grim-faced young guy with a black mustache and even blacker eyes reached for my arm. Let go of the tree. It's okay, he said. Are you the kitten? I'm so confused. What is happening? Does someone just was watching through the windows like, OMG, a boy. Oh, you got stuck in a tree. Hello, number one. I didn't want to let go of the tree trunk, but he swung me around gently and holding me tight, guided my legs to the ladder. He held onto me and we climbed down together. Is this supposed to be a date? When we stepped into the ground, my legs were trembling so hard. When we stepped onto the Sorry. I didn't want to let go of the trunk. But he swung me around gently and holding me tight, guided my legs to the ladder. He held onto me and we climbed down together. When we stepped to the ground, my legs were trembling so hard, I dropped onto my knees. A bunch of neighbors had gathered and they all crowded around, asking if I was okay. A woman in a purple down coat pointed to the house across the street. I lived there. I saw you through the window. I called 911, she said. I thanked her. I stood up feeling steadier, calmer. Oh, so... Wait, what? I saw you through the window. Were you watching him the whole time? Can I please have a clarification that you ain't a creep? Although it's Goosebumps. They probably ain't a creep. I mean, I think Goosebumps is for 10 plus. If anyone's asking about that, but it says 4th to 6th grade. I don't think it's for 4th to 6th graders. Some of those Goosebumps stories are terrifying. I'm even terrified of some of them. I'm terrified of the one called, the one with the alien in it. Because it actually, to be honest, I'm terrified of very tall things. And the alien grew very tall in the book. Weirdo Halloween. That's what it's called. Weirdo Halloween. That book. And it grew really tall in it. That terrified me. Oh, so I think... I think this is for like... This is definitely can be for like 6-year-olds, but... It's meant for phobias, I'm pretty sure. I actually read the next page, and it kinda, this is definitely not for 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds, skip this video right now. Oh, the firefighters were returning the ladder to the trunk. Why did you climb that tree? The firefighter who rescued me asked. I shrugged. I thought there was a kitten up there. They all ran me out. He nailed his eyes at me, but the branches are bare. You can see all the way to the top. Couldn't you see there was no kitten? I thought I saw one, I said. Dangerous, he murmured. He gazed up at the tree. You should be careful, you know. Thank you for saving my life, I said. Just be careful. He lowered his black firefighter helmet over his head, turned and strode to the trunk. Wait, isn't that Canada firefighters where they have black outfits? I took a deep breath and picked up my backpack from the grass. People started to return to the houses. In a few minutes, I was standing there alone. My head was ringing. My legs were still shaky. I didn't feel right. I felt angry and frightened. I clenched my fist and I shouting to the voices out of my head. What are you trying to do? Kill me? Silence. And then the voice spoke up in its words sent chill after chill down my back. You have to die, Sammy. Then we can really have fun. You have to die, Sammy. Then we can really have fun. Part 4.
Jungle.